It has been quite a saga to replace Alex Trebek as the head of Jeopardy. And this isn't normally the sort of thing that we would talk about on a show like The Damage Report, but they've made some weird choices. And so they had chosen Mike Richards, the former EP, after this like long drawn out process of all of these guest hosts. That turned out to be a terrible idea, and he stepped down last Friday after it was revealed that he had made a bunch of offensive and sexist comments on a podcast before. They were shown, the podcast was The Random Show. That was his podcast apparently back in the day. In a 2013 episode, Mr. Richards joked about women who dress like a hooker on Halloween. In another episode, he called his female co-host a booth slut because she once worked as a model at a consumer show in Las Vegas. He described women who wear one-piece swimsuits as looking really frumpy and overweight, and referred to stereotypes about Jews and large noses. There's just a lot of different stuff. It wasn't that long ago, honestly. Anyway, at the time he made those comments, he was serving as executive producer of The Price is Right. And the ADL called for an investigation. Sony said that Mr. Richards would remain as executive producer, I guess. That's interesting. Anyway, so what does that leave us with? Well, he was not the only person that was sort of elevated as a result of this property. Yeah, no, on Jeopardy, I get it. Thank you. So actress Mayim Bialik, who is already slated to host their primetime specials and spinoffs that had already been announced, will now serve as the guest host of the next 15 episodes of Jeopardy. That was what Sony announced, and there will be more guest hosts who will be announced as the season continues. So that leaves us wondering, Bridget, who are they actually going to bring in as the full-time host? So we're going to talk about this in one moment, but I want to let people know that we do have a poll. So if you go to 2it.com/polls, who do you think it will be? These are as many options as we can give you. We apologize. Is it going to be LeVar Burton? Will Mayim Bialik be raised up to full host of all of it? You have Laura Coates, who a lot has come out indicating that Alex Trebek apparently wanted her to be the successor. Will it be Ben Mankiewicz, the guy who I keep boosting for the show, even though the only times he interacts with me online is to own me over something? But he does really love Jeopardy, and he has for a long time, and he'd be a great host. Or will it be someone else? So go to 2it.com/poll. We will give you the results at some point. But Bridget, what are you thinking about this? Are you shocked that he stepped down? So did you expect it would be Mike Richards? Who do you want it to be now? What do you think?
No, of course. I mean, like, who had ever heard of Mike Richards before? Like, right? Like, I feel like we have been given this handful of like very interesting, good, people to be hosts. And basically, it's like when your company puts out a job application and then they're like, oh, you're just gonna hire from within. It was like, who had ever heard of him? And I read this really long, this in-depth long read about Jeopardy and Mike Richards, and you didn't even scratch the surface of all the ways that this person was not a good fit for this role. It really sounds like he almost kind of rigged the process against folks like Ken Jennings and LeVar Burton so that he would have a better shot to be the host. I kind of, when this was first announced, I was like, oh, it's gotta be LeVar Burton. Who else could it be? Fan favorite, like who else could it be? Mm-hmm. Now I'm kind of thinking maybe Ken Jennings. I don't know. Think about this. LeVar Burton has a lot to his name, right? There's so much that he has done, from Star Trek to Roots, Reading Rainbow. He is like a powerhouse. Ken Jennings is really only someone who we know because of Jeopardy, right? Like, that's his whole thing. And so, I don't know, I kind of go back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's obviously like, he's huge in Jeopardy lore, like the canon of Jeopardy. That's totally true. So look, obviously I'm biased. I know Ben. If he wasn't on the list, I don't know, there's something that seems perfect about LeVar Burton hosting it. Like, as kids, he got us to want to read. Now as adults, he'll be making us still care about knowing things. That sort of just seems balanced in a way. And I don't know, he just seems to really want it. And I look, I'm a big Star Trek fan, so like I love LeVar Burton for a long time. So I don't know, that seems sort of perfect. But it is possible they'll go with Laura Coates because, as I said, more has come out. Mayim Bialik was already being elevated, as people are pointing out. She has a PhD in that. I am gonna throw one little curveball in though. So this is something I read right before going live. Grains of salt and all that. Timing wise though, Some of Mayim Bialik's previous comments about vaccines have now resurfaced. So let's see. She wrote a New York Times op-ed back in 2017. Let's see. She says she has been fully vaccinated for the COVID-19 virus and is not at all an anti-vaxxer. In 2009, she told people that she was part of a non-vaccinating family. In 2012, she posted an article titled "Vaccinations and Other Things I Don't Want to Discuss" for a website. In a 2015 tweet, she said that her children were vaccinated. She posted a video in October 2020 saying that she had delayed vaccinations for reasons you don't necessarily get to know about. She had at one point said there are way too many vaccines and there are a lot of questions about the vaccine industry, which, look, I get it. If you question Big Pharma, I understand that in some level. So look, she's very clear. I support the COVID-19 vaccine. Previous commentary, which I sort of vaguely remember anyway, is out there. So this is hardly a time where that will help her, though. Do you think that'll matter? Quick final thoughts.
Oh, I mean, don't they vet these people? It's like nobody wants to be platforming someone who has been expressing this kind of stuff about vaccines. I mean, it's just not great timing for her. Oof.
I know. Now she's good on this vaccine. Is that enough? Maybe, I don't know. Remember, it used to be like a kind of like Santa Monica liberal thing to be against vaccines. Now it's like this hard right thing. Anyway, we will have to see. TYT.com/polls. We will give you the results soon. I don't know what direction they're gonna go in. I assume they're gonna be a little bit more careful in this case.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.